Superstar shakeup, aka the WWE draft, has come and gone. At least today. Tomorrow is SmackDown's version. We got about 13 people who came on to the roster. I was surprised about Baron Corbin going over to Raw. I'm actually kind of surprised that they put him there. Bobby Roode I wasn't too surprised about, but I'm hoping they will turn him heel. The Riot Squad has been transferred over, and it's due to the fact that Paige is no longer with Absolution. She's now working on SmackDown. That's what I'm thinking. That's the reason why we didn't see much about Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose really saying much about losing their leader on the show, because if they did, they would have done an interview with Renee Young. I think that would have been the best way to really show respect to Paige by interviewing those two, but we didn't get that. We got Breezango, the Fashion Police, actually showing up on Raw. The only thing I'm hoping for with them is that they have the Fashion Files reinstated. Excuse me. If the Fashion Files come back, they got gold on their hands. If they don't bring back the New Day, which is alright, the Fashion Files will compensate for that lovely. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm wishing for. That's what they must do. If they don't bring back the Fashion Files and make these guys relevant again, it's a joke. A stupid joke. And they probably won't even show them on TV. That's the good possible thing if they don't reinstate the Fashion Files. Natalya came back to Raw. Now, I took a little pause with that because I'm surprised that Charlotte didn't go back to Raw. I really believe they could have put Charlotte back on Raw. Because if they decide to move Bayley and Sasha Banks to SmackDown, it would be a better fit. Because, honestly, as it stands now with Charlotte, as I've said multiple times, Charlotte needs someone who is very familiar with her to actually do the job properly. And I don't care what anybody says. What you saw on the last pay-per-view with Charlotte proves 100% that she's botchy and she doesn't know what she's 100% doing because she's trying to be like her father. And I still challenge someone to give me a reason why I shouldn't think like that with her. And as it stands, next to no one watching my videos, no one's disagreed with me because honestly, I'm right. And I don't care if the Lex Man or even the Sleg Daddy, and I respect them both, they think she's incredibly good. She's not. If she's so freaking botchy, she cuts her arm open. I'm just saying. Let's see. One surprising return and one not too surprising was Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. Once we had Titus Worldwide appear with Dolph Ziggler, I thought something was up. This ain't right. Even though I just love. I would basically marry Dana Brooks. She's a beautiful woman with a great body, and for that, like I said, from what I've heard about her, she's actually a very sweet person. Give me Dana Brooks. Even if she was a flatty, I wouldn't care. Flat-chested, fine. I don't care. I'll take her. She's not bad looking. But in the end, you basically had Drew McIntyre destroying both Titus Worldwide and the Apollo Crews. And you know who they remind me of? Tell me if this kind of reminds you. A very watered down Shawn Michaels and Diesel. Tell me if I'm wrong. Look at these two. They're in my face right now. Do not see the comparisons of a Diesel type guy and a Shawn Michaels type guy. And I'm making this very clear. Dolph Ziggler's not even close to being Shawn Michaels. He's not. But if you're going to go there trying to make him like making someone like a Shawn Michaels, he's as close as they'll ever get. Because there's no one as close to Shawn Michaels than Shawn Michaels. And I mispronounced Shawn Michaels by saying Shawn Michaels. But you get my point. Dolph Ziggler looks like he's trying to be Shawn Michaels. And Drew McIntyre being freaking quiet reminds me of Diesel. That's what I'm getting. That's the vibe I'm getting. And I'm going to stick with it for the moment. It counts on what they're going to do after that. Now, what else can I say? Jeff Hardy going up against Jinder Mahal. Not Ginger. Jinder Mahal. I'm botching today. I know a lot of people are happy that Jeff Hardy has that title. I know a lot of people are tired of Balls Mahoney, as what one of my subscribers, George, calls him. I don't care. I don't hate Jinder. I don't like Jinder. I see him as a jobber, capable of doing the job. When it's time, he can do a decent enough job to do what he needs to do. As far as I'm concerned, seeing Jeff have that title, I'm alright with it. But there have been a few people, including the Lex man, he said clearly, and I do kind of agree with him, if you're going to go there with Jinder Mahal, if you want to try and do something different with Jinder Mahal, make the title the Indian title. And instead of leaving it as the US title, make it the Indian title or the Bombay title, whatever you want to call it. Something different that would set Jinder Mahal by himself. Something different. I'm not saying that would work. I'm just saying that it could go somewhere with him. Now, we did not see Ambrose. I'm guessing he's still not cleared yet. Now, here's a match that made no sense. I didn't care about it. It was stupid. And that was Bayley versus Sasha. You had your chance at WrestleMania. Even if it was on the kickoff show, they should have had their own match. They didn't have their match. Right now, I don't give a damn. I don't care if either one of them turns face or heel at this point. As it stands right now, unless they separate these guys, well, these girls, one on SmackDown and one on Raw, I don't care. No matter how much I like them. I don't hate Bayley and I don't hate Sasha, but I don't care about them right now. Either you separate these guys, girls, or you make one of them heel. And then you separate them after that. Because that's the only way this is going to make any sense. Yes, the Riot Squad destroyed them, but who cares? And I got to say this, and I'm saying it right now. When it came to Amber Moon and Mickie James, with Nia Jax watching, I got to say this. You can see how much of a waste Mickie James is. The way she performed in that ring. And it was all about Nia Jax because they were always talking to and questioning her at the commentary table. They barely talked about the match. But you can see, and I've said this over and over again, the person that could have went up against Asuka, one of them was in that ring, and that was a Mickie James. If they had booked her properly, she could have carried that title into WrestleMania. And yes, a lot of people say Asuka need to drop her streak. Fine. You could have dropped the streak to Mickie James, who is a credible champion. A multi-time champion who's a legend in her own right. But they built her like crap. And then you look at Nia Jax, smiling her ass off, which is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Now, mind you, I don't hate Nia Jax. I like Nia Jax. But this is not the time to make her a face. She should have won her title as a heel. She could have retained her title as a heel. And then later, after she had won her title, after she had a heel run, she turned babyface, and people would like her even more than she's like now. And I know people are going to say, oh, they like her. They could have liked her more when she was a heel and transferred into a face and not look like a bitch. Like Mickie James looking like a bitch. Nia Jax had to be turned into a bitch to be turned into a babyface and now have this stupid babyface run that sucks. I'm saying it, I mean it. Now, I really don't want to say much about Natalya, but I gotta say this. What happened with that match versus Mandy Rose, I'm not gonna say anything about the match. It really doesn't matter. This was all about Ruby Riott. This is all about building this little story of Ruby Riott having her first feud with Sonya Deville, which is understandable. She decked the crap out of Sonya Deville. She clotheslined Sonya Deville, which was a good start for her. A good starter match for her, because she's going to have to start getting to that ring. And I hope, and I want to make this very clear, I am so hoping that Ronda Rousey changes her ring attire. Do not wear the same thing she wore when she was at WrestleMania. She needs a longer top. She needs longer trunks. She can keep the boots, but every couple of moments, she have to keep adjusting her clothes really throws off her match. That's something I'm hoping someone will tell her, and she will have a different ring attire that will suit her style of wrestling. My guess is she's not going to figure it out for a couple of months, and she's going to be wearing that for a while, but I'm hoping someone's going to say, you need to change your clothes. You keep moving and fixing the writing up your clothes is not helping the match. That's what I'm hoping for. But she decked the crap out of Sonya Deville, and it makes sense why they have to do a starter match with her. They both were in MMA. You got one from NXT, one that came straight in, both coming from the same world. It makes sense. And I'm sure Natalya's going to be in her corner like Mandy Rose will be in Sonya Deville's corner. That's just going to be how it is unless they're going to separate the two. Then, the bar versus the fashion. Oh my gosh. I said this earlier. The fashion police need to be doing the fashion files. They don't need to be doing a match. And now the fashion police won a match against the freaking bar. What? Don't get me wrong. I don't hate the fashion police. You guys know I love them. But they need to be in the back. Very rarely do they wrestle. If it revolves around the fashion files. If you do this, it's going to ruin it. Even though this is the first day, it's not right. The bar should not be jobbing going into wherever they're going. I don't even remember when they're going to have they're going to try and get the titles back. Is it going to be at the World Greatest Royal Rumble? Is it going to be at Backlash? I don't even remember. I don't know. But they didn't look good. It didn't help them. Doing this on the shake-up. And then the 10-man tag, where Bobby Roode shows up as the mystery guest, or the mystery wrestler. I'm alright with it. Like I said, I'm glad that Bobby Roode is there. He's a good fit as long as he turn him heel. In the end, the majority of the people there were booing The Miz, were cheering Strowman, were cheering Seth Rollins. Now, here's the thing. Now, I didn't talk detailish about this show for a reason. Because there's a lot here to talk about. And I don't want to spend a huge amount of time trying to fill in all the blanks here. I know there's a lot of other YouTubers who are way better than me. But I'm seeing this from a long-term perspective. What did we actually get with these 13 people from SmackDown or coming from NXT to go to Raw? It depends on one factor. It's the writing team. And no matter how much anyone's going to say this looks great on paper, if the writing team does not write properly for these guys, like Lashley looked beastly. But it doesn't mean they're going to write beastly for Lashley. The fashion police are hilarious with the fashion files. But if they don't allow them to do the fashion files on Raw, and they sit in the back only seldomly being seen for the next year before the next shakeup, what was the point? Finn Balor. Now, he could be going to SmackDown. To be honest, he probably needs to go to 205 Live. Because Triple H is running 205 Live. He would probably get a lot more strength there than he would on SmackDown Live. In fact, I think he would really light up 205 Live than he would light up SmackDown Live. Because if AJ doesn't switch, you're going to have AJ Styles, you're going to have Daniel Bryan, you're going to have Shinsuke Nakamura. Then you would have Finn Balor, who would be lost in the shuffle. And I believe 205 Live would be the best person there because he's a Universal Champion. That's what I think. But the writing's going to be the issue here. Just like in SmackDown Live, if these guys and girls are not written for properly, this was the most stupidest thing you could have done. And bringing back Drew McIntyre, which I love Drew. If he's not written for properly this time around, I know he got injured and 3MB was supposed to be pushed properly, but it never happened because he got hurt. I understand that. But in the end, we have to be honest here. If, and I'm repeating, if the writing team does not do a proper job here, this was a joke. The shakeup is a joke. This is a joke. But let's wait and see. Hopefully, I'm 100% happy that the writing team will do the job properly. But this is just my point of view. Have a good day, have a good night, and look for my SmackDown review and about their shake-up and who's going to be there. Peace.